Hello all, this is me on the Records and another interesting video on loop. So we'll be using the JavaScript coding to create a loop. So I'm using the coder.org web editor to have my code designed. So now we're talking about loops. Loops are something where you want to repeat things again and again. So let me tell you the outcome we want to execute that will be executing with the help of a loop. We would be having this half place exactly in the half. We would be drawing like this line like this. This is very important when you want to create any game. This loop will be very helpful. So when I create a line starting from the half, I want a straight line, not like this curve. This is a bit curved. Sorry for that. So I want a straight line with some gaps in it. So we can say that this is 1, 2, 3, and we have many lines lined up. So this is a loop. Instead of creating a line again and again and again, we can use a loop. We will be using the loop called the for loop. For loop will be the control. You will get this for loop. For, as I said before, this is just a loop. So I'll just put it here and attach it right here. It should be in function draw because it will not draw the loop. So we need to put it in the function draw. And you can even put it in show block so that if you think it is more interactive, you can always put show block. So right here, let me explain this. You have something called I is equal to 0. So it's a variable. What's a variable? Variable is something where the values keep on changing. So that's what we get about the variable. So when we have variable I is equal to 0. So here we have I as a variable. So when we talk about variable, as it keeps on changing, so the I will be keeps on changing. It might change. It might change. The I might change. And I is below 4 here in this command. They have given it. And I plus plus. What is I plus plus? When we have something like I plus plus, it's nothing but I plus 1. So it can be anything. A plus plus is also A plus 1. A plus 1, and then I minus minus is equal to A minus I minus 1. So I minus minus means I minus 1. I plus plus means I plus 1. This is just a shortcut for writing this code. So here I'll just drop this. Oh, sorry. Okay. So now we want to create a line. So for that we will be using this for loop. Here I will be less than 4. So let it be as 4. Now I'll put in, okay, let it be, everything let it be like that. Let me not change it. In drawing, you have this line command. In the line command, you have these parameters to follow. As you see here, x1, y1, x2, y2. So what are the x1, y1 and something like that? It's nothing but when we get x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's nothing but this x1 and y1 is this initial starting position where the line needs to start. This is the start of the line, the first x1 and y1, and this one is at the end where the line needs to meet. So if you want a line starting from here, this is the canvas, and canvas length is 400 pixel into 400 pixel, which means x position is also 400 and y position is also 400. So if you want to draw a line diagonally like this one, which will correctly cut this canvas into half, this is 1/2 and this is 1/2. So we can do 1/2 here, 1/2 here. So this is just in half. So if you want to draw a line like this and you want to meet this point will be 400, 400 because x position increases while you go to the right and y position increases when you come to the down. When you come up to the down, when you come here, the y position increases. When you come to the right, the x position increases. So it will be 400, comma 400. So here, now if you want to create a line like this would be 0, comma 0, right? This would be 0, comma 0. So I'll write as, I'll just take a new line, and I will just comment this because it will take us a wrong code because I haven't finished that code yet. So I'll just do it like that. So 400, comma 400 is just a default thing. So can you see that there was a line form like this? There's a line form. You have many line properties, but that one we'll take it as later. But we have some line form here. So same way, this is how the line works. So I don't want this piece of the code. I'll just delete it and we'll be looking at the for variable itself. So right now, for variable I is equal to 0. So what function it needs to do? What this loop needs to do, we'll be putting inside this curly brackets. This is what the curly brackets mean. So we need to put inside this curly brackets. So I'll put line here. So we need to create a line. So here, can you notice something that I'll rub these things because you don't need it, right? Yes. So when we have this line, the x position is constant. Why the x position is constant? Because the x position keeps on increasing when you go to the right. So here is where you start. Here, when the full canvas length is 400, so when you divide it by 2, 400 divided by 2 is equal to 200. So 200, exactly the position of 200 is the x position if we want to do. So 200 is the position, the x position for all the line which would be doing this. Okay, so I think this is the half. This is the half, but 200 is the number. This is the half. So now if y position keeps on changing because y position increases when you come down. So as the y position keeps on increasing, the y position will be the variable. Y position will be the variable. So what I will do is I'll rub this. Okay, it's almost wrapped. Fine. Now I will draw this line at 200 because it needs to start. It needs to at this start at x position as 200. All the lines needs to follow these parameters. 200 will be right here. This is the 200. So can you see this is 200? So I'll try to keep moving. So just keep the 200 constant. See. So if I move, I'll just show the grid. So this is 200. This line is 200. So when I move it like this, can you see the y position keeps on increasing, and at that point you get 400. So as the y position keeps on increasing, so I'll just put it as a variable because y position keeps on varying. So I put the y position as I, then the x position is same for everything. So I'll put an I here. So let me run this code. Let me take this grid because the grid will. Okay, can you see one? Wait, I'll just delete all this code. Can you see this one simple line here? Can you tell why it is very small? Because we have given parameter as the I needs to be less than 4. So here, when we in the code, in this semicolon, it's nothing but it acts like a full stop in English. It acts like a full stop. So variable I is equal to 0. In English, we can say variable I is equal to 0. Next sentence, or full stop. I is less than 4. These are the conditions you're going to put. These are the conditions. So you have put I needs to be less than 4, which is not going to work. Because when the I is less than 4, the y position will not increase from 4. So I will just reset and run again. Okay, we cannot, it's fine. Can you see? Okay, we cannot see here. So it is just 4 pixels. So now instead of 4, I'll put 400 because the Y needs to go till 400, which is the below of the canvas. We don't want 500 or 600 because we don't want anything, any line behind our canvas, right? So we want everything to, in whatever we can see, only that space, if it is executed, be more than enough. So I will run this. Okay, we got the line here, but it is straight. I'm not getting a line which is having some spaces in between. That's because, can you guess why? We have just increased the I value plus 1. So 1 pixel is very small dot. Just a dot like this. More smaller, more smaller. Can you get that this full length is 400? It is just 400 pixels. Just 400. 400 pixels. So even when I like preview it small or preview it larger, 400 pixels is way lesser. So here, as now as plus 1 will not be giving me anything, I'll just put plus 20. I'll just try. Okay, fine. I'll just put this console. Okay. Can you say why am I not getting this answer? It's because I have just put I plus 20. You need to put, when we say I plus plus is, that is I is equal to I plus 1. So here again, I is equal to I plus 20. Reset and run. Okay, we got the output, but this is just a peeny dots. I want a line like this. I don't want a peeny dot like this one. Can you tell me why it is like this? It is because we need to have some difference between the start point and the end point of the line. When the start point and the end point of the line is the same, the line is not going to have any length between it. Only if the line is having some difference between them, the length of the line can be determined. So when the difference between the start and the end point of the line is more, the length of the line is more. When the difference between the start and the end point of the line is 0 or less, the length is less. The difference is the length. The difference of the start and the end point is the length of the line. So here the start and the end point has no difference, so the length is so small. So I just put I plus 5. So I can get this one. So we can understand that this one, this line, this any one single line is 5 pixels. Is 5 pixels. So when I increase it to maybe say 15, I get a bigger line, 15 pixels. So if you want to increase it to maybe 20, I want a 20. Okay, can you see it's just a line because I is equal to I plus 20 and it's again the same. It's again the code. You are again and again increasing it. So this one, think like this for easy understanding. This one is the gap between the line, and this one is the line itself. This one will determine the length. So here, then if they both are equal, the gap and the length are equal, you don't find any gap. So we need to increase the gap. Maybe say 25, then the more it'll increase by 5 pixels. Each gap will have 5 pixels in the middle. So if you increase it by 60, you will have more gaps. Right, this is how you do the loops. So you can try doing a loop like this horizontally where the x position change but the y position is kept constant. Y position is constant and the x position changes. It's very simple. Instead of I, you put it in y position, you're going to put it in x. and y will be the same as 200 if you want to do it in the half, or if you want to make any position. And try having a loop y here to here. This is very challenging work because you need to write more loop for that. Here x and y position change, so you need to give variables like that. So if you want a diagonal like this, so here if you do plus 20, here you want to do plus 20, so that it increases like this. So that's it for in this video. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, and like. Thank you.